Hello and good afternoon, everyone. This is Jen Espinosa-Goswami coming to you live for a special video because back to school is coming, and if you haven't purchased your kids' school supplies, don't worry, I'm sure you'll find them. Uh, but I wanted to share my own personal story of why I decided to start packing my kids' lunches despite the fact that I have no time, no energy, have no idea some days what they should be eating and what they actually will eat. There are very particular reasons why I started packing my kids' lunch. And this was kind of spurred on by a conversation with a family member of mine. I was asking her son, who's 10, I believe, whether he brings a home lunch to school. And his mom kind of scoffed and she's like, oh, I don't have time for that. And I was a little taken aback because, she works at least 60 hours a week. She's a very successful career woman, and I'm a work from home mom. So we're in slightly different circumstances. And at first I was like, well, gee, you find time for things that matter to you. And then I realized, when I was working the corporate office, which was almost 20 years that I was doing it, and I only quit in October to become a work-at-home mom, I remember what that felt like, right? You rush home from school, you leave work, you rush home to pick up your kids from daycare or after-school programs or what have you. You barely have an hour to slap together a decent dinner. You barely have any time to get the kids bed, homework, bath time, all of that business. Like, it felt like there was a very small window of opportunity in that time to get your kids ready for bed, get them to bed, and then after bedtime, what do? Right? You chill out. You're like, this is my me time. This is my only time all day. I've had to relax and do things for myself. Or maybe some people return to work, whether it's logging onto a computer, checking emails, working with clients, projects, that sort of thing. I mean, we have busy lives, right? So I understood what she was talking about, and that's the perfect reason why I created the Superhero Lunchboxes program. So I was polling several different Facebook communities and asking them, what is your biggest struggle when it comes to packing a healthy lunch for your kid for school? And a lot of folks were telling that, sorry, one second. A lot of folks were telling me that they have no time. Either they don't have the time as parents to put together some food that is halfway balanced and good for their kids that they'll actually eat, but they'll also mention things like, well, my kid forgets to grab the lunchbox on the way out, so even though I did put the time into it, my kid just didn't pick it up. And still others were telling me, well, yeah, my kid would take what I packed for them, but then it comes home almost in its entirety and they haven't eaten anything, and maybe if they have a school punch card or something like that, maybe they already purchased school food anyway, so why take the effort to do it, right? So I wanted to share with you why I personally chose, despite my lack of time, because I was still working a full-time job and working my business at the time I decided to pack my kids' school lunch. The first reason I started packing lunch for them: energy management. Not just mine, but my children's as well. And by the way, while I religiously pack a school lunch for my teen, my kindergartner was a little more picky about her food choices and preferred to have a hot lunch most days of the week. And I would just occasionally pack lunch for her. So this is not an all or nothing situation, right? It's not all or nothing. You don't have to pack every single meal. Even if you just occasionally pack a meal, you should know how to do it in a super easy, convenient way so that you don't waste a lot of time, right? And that's why I'm talking to you today. But one of the first reasons, energy management. What does your kid express when they come home from a busy day at school? What I was noticing before I started packing my kids' lunches was there was a lot of overreaction to things. There was a lot of tiredness. There was a lot of hangry, which is anger brought on by hunger. There was a lot of I didn't have time to eat. Apparently waiting in the line for school lunch can take 15, 20 minutes long. Hi, thanks for joining us. And waiting in line for lunch means you have even less time to sit down and actually eat that lunch you purchased. So there were some other challenges there. So energy management. And I just want to throw this out there, like regardless of whether your kid is average or normal or whatever term you like to use for your child, there is a special concern out there that I personally have. One of my children has mental health issues. And one thing that has been extremely important for her to manage her energy as someone who has mental health concerns, is to eat regularly. And she typically forgets to eat regularly. However, if I know that I have put together certain foods that are balanced and healthy for her and she likes to eat, she will eat them. So if she cannot control her own energy because she doesn't have access to the things that are good for her, then she's going to come home in an even more high state than I want her to be. And sometimes there were days when I didn't even want to pick my kids up because I didn't know what whirlwind of a situation I was going to jump into, and I didn't always feel super positive at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. That's not my highest energy part of the day either. So I understood the importance of a snack when they get home from school. At the same time, I recognized that if they were choosing or not choosing a healthy school lunch, then at least I could support them in that way. So energy management. If your children don't eat regularly enough, how does their energy look and feel to you? How do they show up when you pick them up from school? What are they doing when you bring them home, in the afternoon while you're getting dinner ready? Are there a lot of fights? Are there a lot of squabbles? Is there a lot of, I don't feel like doing it, or falling on the couch and falling asleep and that sort of thing? If that is the case, then it might be time to consider packing a home lunch. Reason number 2, why I decided to pack lunch for my kids: expense. Yes, most schools are very reasonable and will have reduced and free school lunches for those who are under certain income requirements, especially as someone who quit my day job and is now working from home. The finances are in a different place than they were before. So it made more sense financially for me to pack a school lunch. It was more convenient in some ways for me to just let my kids get the school lunch, but it's not all about convenience, right? I would rather put a little additional time into something and save some additional money so that we can do other things together as a family that we enjoy. So cost was a concern. And I have noticed significantly, especially because I'm providing food for my children at home almost entirely during the summer, it is more cost effective to do your own food at home. And you probably already intellectually know this and understand that this is true, yet when you see it happening, it makes a greater impact on your overall financial situation. So you can save money by packing a home lunch instead of defaulting to the school lunch. Reason number 3. If your child has any sort of allergies, intolerances, or foods that they will not touch, regardless of what the reasoning behind that is, the school system is not very friendly to them. And I can say this going to Edina Public Schools, which are great and follow the same, government guidelines that many schools follow, and they have whole grain, foods. They have other sorts of things like that. They do have to be respectful of peanut allergies, so usually they'll have like a sun butter and jelly sandwich instead of peanut butter and jelly, what have you. But what I was noticing was my kid does not like the taste of the school lunches, and she's not alone in that. There are quite a few surveys and statistics out there that show the majority of kids do not like the taste of school lunch. I mean, it's not gourmet food, right? The school is doing the best they can on a limited budget, and they're producing mass quantities of food for hundreds of kids. I understand why it might not be the most tasty or fun type of lunch. So that's reason number 3 why I decided to start packing my kids' school lunch. Now, I understand that not everyone feels like they have the time for that, and I am totally supportive of that. However, if you could know that your children are managing their energy better, because not only do you pack a lunch for them, but you're very aware of the lunch being balanced and healthy so that they can avoid sugar crashes in the afternoon, right? They're not defaulting to all the juices and the chocolate milks and the crackers and all that crap that they typically get for school lunch. Do you want to save a little bit of money? Because at the end of the day, maybe there's something you're saving up for. Maybe you want to get a special present for someone in the holiday season. Maybe there's something personally that you'd like to get more of, like a massage or something like that for self-care. There's all sorts of reasons why you might want to increase your cash flow in your home situation. And then finally, how tasty is the school lunch? And I know some parents who walk with their kids through the school menu and determine which days are a go for school lunch versus which days are not, because the kid will not eat what's at school. That's totally a cool system to work with, but at the end of the day, you still need to provide your kids some sort of balanced meal, right? And I don't want to leave you in the lurch and have you be like, oh my God, I forgot. I have no idea what to pack. Oh, what can I put in my fridge? So I would like to help you out with some support around this. We are here in Minnesota, we're only a couple of weeks away from back to school, so there's a lot of excitement around that. But what I'm offering to you is a chance to join my early bird list for the Superhero Lunchboxes program. This program is amazing because it will help you solve your biggest school lunch troubles. Energy management for your kids. Let's make it healthy. Let's make it tasty. Saving you some money. I'm not going to suggest that you do a bunch of super expensive, all organic, non-GMO and all that business. No, buy all organic where you can. Fit it within your budget. There are lots of lower cost products you can use that are still good and balanced for your kid. And then finally, that whole piece of tasty and fun. School lunches are typically not terribly fun, but my Superhero Lunchboxes program is not just about what you're feeding your kids, it's also what you're feeding their minds, because I include really super fun, superhero themed kinds of affirmations that you can drop in your kids' lunchbox so that they won't forget taking their lunch to school in the morning that you spent so much time packing, because they want to open up that lunchbox and find that superhero note that you placed in there just for them so that they can have an amazing day. So it's not just recipes. Yes, you'll get up to 50 different recipes with different themes. So everything from sandwiches to noodles to thinking outside of the box and that sort of thing. You'll get tons of recipes, some of them very creative and different from what you might be used to. You also will get superhero affirmations. So you know, have a super day, and really encouraging notes so that your kid can feel good about not just opening that lunchbox, but getting that love from you even when you're not there to be with them. So if you're working, you're busy, you may not have time to handwrite notes to your kids, I totally get it, which is why these superhero affirmations will be super fun for them and for you as well. And then lastly, the tasty things. So kids are picky, right? I know kids are picky, and personally my own kids will not eat sandwiches. So peanut butter and jelly is not coming to the rescue in my house. Once in a while, a rare while, but I have to be really creative with that. So that is how I designed this program. This program is also going to walk you through 5 days of live content starting September 4th. So if you have any inkling of interest in this program, which you should, because it's only $50, it's super affordable for you, will solve your issues, I guarantee it. But we're going to start the live segment of this program September 4th. So I encourage you to look at the link I'm popping below this video, which is the early bird list. Joining the early bird list does not require you to pay anything today. You do not pay anything to join the early bird list, but you will get some free content that other people won't get if they don't join. So I encourage you to pop your email in that link that I provide below this video, because you will get some bonus content. For example, the Picky Eater's Guide to Eating Healthier. Is your kid a picky eater? Yes, then you can get a free guide to how to get past that struggle in your household. It doesn't just apply to lunch, folks. It applies to everything your kid will eat. You will also get an exclusive bonus article on super snacks. So if you're like, well, I'm good with school lunch, I'm not terribly concerned about it, but I struggle with figuring out, you know, a variety of healthy snacks, this is for you. It's a free resource that you'll get simply for joining my early bird list. We start September 4th, so don't delay. If you have any questions, let me know below this video. Thank you so much for joining me today. These are 3 reasons why I decided to start packing my kids' school lunch, despite the convenience and the convenience of just allowing my kids to purchase it, but I had 3 very particular reasons. If you resonate with any of these reasons, I highly encourage you to join the Superhero Lunchboxes program. We start September 4th, but you can join the early bird list today for no cost. We'll see you inside of the group. Take care.